take something very concrete, take something very, very tangible, take something which is extremely niche, swallow and narrow it down and work on that with this workshop. Don't work on, I'm working on my relationship. Kuch nahi hota usse. We know people who've gone from workshops to workshops working on their relationships. Kuch nahi hota hai. I'm working on my health. Kuch nahi hota hai. Break it down. I'm working on my backache because every time I bend, that's where I get hurt. So I'm working on that one particular little aspect of my life. ये टुकड़ों पे काम करो ना, ये बड़ा illusion है, अच्छा लगता है, but होता नहीं है काम. So work on the smallest. In sixth standard you had, right, the lowest common denominator. What do you call it? The LCD. Work on the lowest common denominator. You know what the beauty is when you work on the lowest common denominator? Then when you look this side, you will find there are many of those types. Then like Tetris, ये सब गायब हो जाता अपने आप. Then you work on the next lowest common denominator. And as you work, you'll realize that newer ones have arrived. Don't work on the full math book. Students come and tell, when I used to teach, they used to come and tell me, sir, I will finish geometry in 1 week. I tell them, don't do that. And I'm not interested also in it. And after 1 week, we know what happens, right? So I tell them, तू शाम तक ना 2 थ्योरम करके दे मेरे को, बस बहुत हो जाएगा. कुछ लोग करते हैं, कुछ लोग वो 2 भी नहीं करते. So it's not what you know, it's what you do. So what do you know? You know, this man says, I knew you had to invest in HDFC Bank. लेकिन सारा मैंने किया नहीं. तू क्यों नहीं किया बे? तेरे को तो पता था. This knowledge is useless. This knowledge is important. Knowledge in action is converting your vision, adding the spice of passion, connecting it with your synchronicity, your congruence, your alliance, seeing whether it can be given birth, manifested through a process of ecology, investing your psychology and the whole of your biology. Kya fayda na? I know what to do. I'm not interested in you. I want to know, did you do that? You're qualified to talk to me. You know these uncles and aunties who tell children what to do as career, what to take as careers? I want to ask them, how much is your monthly income today? Are you even qualified to have that discussion with me? I want to know what you know from the body. It's one thing when your head knows, and it's one thing when your body knows. It's one thing when you know, and it's another thing when your body knows. We first invest in the product because of the meaning that we've given over here. And well, you could say it's the experience simply because that experience, we've lived that experience in our head. Now, what that means is, you go to a club and you want to pick up a girl, you want to pick up a guy. You have already lived that experience in your head and you're saying, yaar, you know, there's an experience that's happening. It's a fantasical experience that's happening in the whole body. That experience is what is given meaning, and the meaning is given that experience, and now you want it in the physical world, and therefore you chase that. And therefore you work hard to get there, and therefore you put all your resources to chase that goal. Sometimes that goal is not achievable. Maybe it's dead, maybe it is going, maybe something is happening. When do you decide to let go? And when I met Judy in Moscow for the very first time, I told her, I am so drawn to that graceful femininity, that entire knowledge of that archetype that she would give. I told her, your subject did make a difference in our lives, in everybody's lives. And if not for you, Dake wouldn't bring it to us. And here's what she said. She says, I'm so happy to hear that those heartbeats did matter. Death is a person, and that journey is archetypal. How can we not know that? Well, again, it's not what we know, it's what we know. Imagine at that time when death comes in front, I think everybody would have said this. I knew all my life I'm dying, but I didn't know I'll die this way. And keep that in front of you right now. Everything that's breathing the last, keep that in front of you. Everything that you are breathing your breath into, which is already dead. The abuser is gone. The child need not be abused and tormented in your head even today after 40 years. She was touched once inappropriately by the abuser, 1,000 times by you. In that memory, she lived that abuse. How many times were you the abuser? And how much of your life today is in that fear because you've kept that story alive, that metaphor alive, that dream alive, that symbol alive? And can you bring that synchronicity today to keep in front and to take the learnings, and to separate the emotions? Look at those things that are already dead, separate the emotions, separate the learnings, and now make a choice. The event, the emotion, the learning, the three different things. Don't mix them up. Don't integrate them. Don't anchor them. Integrate the learnings, release the emotions. That's the energy, and that event, let it be there. It has no meaning without that emotion. Separate that emotion. The death has taken place. Separate that emotion. The loss has taken place. It's time to put that shutter down on that office. It's time to let go of that train. You've ran enough for that on the platform. Keep it out and look at it. Look at it from different sides. Stand here and what do you see? You say, I can't see anything, but I'm crying because I'm disturbed with it. The child in me is crying. Excellent. You know NLP or you know Gestalt. Move. Fucking move. Move from here and come to the other side and see from here. You may see the learning from that side. You have the implicit methods, you have the explicit methods, and well, you have the archetypal energies. You have the approach to the approaches. You have the direction of the directions. You have the know-how of the knowledge. You have the body. You have the information. It's not what you know that will save you tonight or tomorrow. It's what you do.